challenges, in our opinion, seem to have overwhelmed our security institutions.
The governors are supposed to be the state security officers of their state.
There is need for us to at least engage the traditional rulers.
We need to do something about our porous borders.
We have to own it from the unit level to the ward level to the local government to state.
Mr. President, the importance of today for us is for us to take action.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Hello and welcome to Inside the Senate. With the Senate still on a short recess, we shall be reporting public hearings on some bills referred to committees after their second reading. Amongst these are bills for the establishment of a Microbiology Council of Nigeria, regulation of advance rent payments for residential and office apartments in the FCT, as well as an interaction with the NNPC leadership over some of the challenges facing the Nigerian oil sector, amongst other things. I am Hussaina Amina Aboki, your host. Details after this short break. Please stay tuned.
The Senate will send a message to the President
to reap opportunities from that.
Raise a matter of urgent public importance, and we are aware that when this particular motion comes up
for a longer term development, arise to second the motion.
Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Welcome back. First on our lineup is a review of the public hearing organized by the Senate Committee on Establishment on a bill for an act to establish the Microbiology Council of Nigeria. This was on the 17th of March 2022. The bill was earlier on tabled in plenary and read second time, after which it was referred to the committee for more legislative action. Let's take the report as compiled and presented from our studio.
The Microbiology Council of Nigeria speaks to the administration of health, life sciences, and related issues, where care and concerns have to be taken in the understanding of the behavior of microorganisms towards improved citizens' well-being, as well as increased productive capacity. It is a discipline that applies to the smooth functioning of the primary and tertiary healthcare providers, both in the public and private sectors, aside its importance to the environment. The hearing on the bill for an act to establish the Microbiology Council of Nigeria was declared open by the Senate President, Ahmed Lawal, who was represented by the Senate Deputy Leader, Senator Ajayi Boroface. He spoke on other areas in which microbiology is relevant and the role of the Council when established.
It is as well relevant to other sectors like petroleum, pharmaceutical, nutrition, and other areas like laboratories, research institutes, teaching and learning centers, and any other establishment dealing with microbiological creations. What this means is that the proposed body has been well conceived as an agency to regulate the convoluted process of managing the sectors through a harmony of principles and practices for the overall benefit of the country and the society at large.
Stakeholders gave different opinions on the bill.
The council, if in place, will prepare for emerging and re-emerging infectious diseases like the COVID. We thank COVID, not that we like it, but COVID has portrayed the importance of microbiology. The issue of vaccine, we cannot treat viral diseases, but we can promote local production of our vaccines.
The government should graciously strengthen NAFDAC, the structures to perform better in what we are already doing, instead of creating new organization for duplication.
If we can establish this bill, there will be enough opportunity for us to be able to do even more than other nations are doing.
After more contributions, the committee promised to couple its findings in a report to be presented to the plenary for legislative action.
Thank you very much.
Our next review is the public hearing organized by the Senate Committee on Land, Housing and Urban Development to deliberate on the regulation of advanced rent for residential apartments and office spaces, Establishment Bill 2022, which held on Thursday, the 31st of March 2022. The report is presented from our studio as compiled.
One of the major components of the bill is to check the excesses of Shylock landlords who demand advance rent payments in the FCT by making provisions to allow new tenants to pay 3 months' rent in advance, while sitting tenants pay monthly.
Distinguished Nigerians, ladies and gentlemen,
the Senate Deputy Whip, Senator Aliu Sabi Abdullahi, declared the hearing open on behalf of Senate President Ahmed Lawal. He disclosed some of the benefits of the bill as being easy payment plan, reduction of fraud perpetrated by imposters, protection of underprivileged workers and tenants, providing a window of petitioning for any tenant mandated to pay above the maximum payment of rent, which is 3 months.
the fact remains that for somebody who gets his monthly payment being asked to pay 2 years or whatever, I think it is something that we should look at dispassionately.
In a welcome address, the committee chairman shed light on the category of Nigerians that the bill would benefit in the FCT.
This particular bill seeks to cater not just for the low-income group, but will improve the general well-being and standard of living of residents in the Federal Capital Territory by providing regulation on the mode of payment of rent, which will make life less stressful and less painful for a majority of the downtrodden and low-income earners in the city.
Sponsor of the bill, Senator Smart Adeyemi, and a committee member added that part of the reasons for sponsorship of the bill is to fight corruption, control the excesses of landlords, as well as ameliorate the sufferings of tenants.
We are proposing this bill that within 3 to 5 years, a landlord should not increase his rent.
If payment of rent is spread on a monthly basis, the implication is that the tenants will have sufficient disposable incomes which they can use to take care of other activities.
With this, the technical session kicked off with proponents of the bill speaking in its favor and offering suggestions.
We know that most Nigerians are salaried workers. They earn their salaries by monthly, even daily. So it's just very difficult when you ask them to, bring in all these resources just to pay for 2 or 3 years rent.
More often than not, when you want to have a rental apartment, even after paying the rent that you have struggled so hard to bring about the amount you want to pay, they will tell you have to pay for lawyer's fee and the agent's fee, and all these things are added to the amount you are going to pay, and I think it is too much.
However, one of the committee members, alongside some other stakeholders, opposed the bill.
This bill, if it goes through, will surely adversely affect the housing sector of the Nigerian economy. For somebody to come and raise an argument to say that a civil servant who takes home a salary of 400 plus as a director in the public civil service, and for him to simply be able to meet up his rental obligation simply because it has been splitted down to monthly by monthly payment, I think it's something that is not realistic.
Most of the people that the bill seeks to protect are not residents of FCT. They situate in Mararaba, Kado, and all villages in Nasarawa State, and some even in villages in Niger State. And so, is a bill seeking to protect? We are in a society, in a dispensation where prices of things are growing astronomically, where we have a volatile foreign exchange rate, fuel, gas, and all of that. They have not been taken for regulation, but we have chosen investment, rent from real estate investment for regulation. Is that fair?
the private sector developer or whoever is a house owner, I don't have to build an estate. Maybe I'm from my savings, I want to build a house as a retirement home and make money from it. I'm not going to do it as a Father Christmas. Those who are not in the housing sector, are not in the building industry, assume that when they have 10 million naira in their account, they have money. It is when you start buying materials, just 3 tons of reinforcement now is going to be they are above 1 million naira. What was 4,000 naira a ton in 1989? Some people use their life saving to develop their property for rental purposes, expecting appropriate returns on investment. If it is the government that provided the houses, it is easy and logical to control the houses, the rental issues about the houses, and legislate on rental matters, as the government will automatically be able to absorb the economic and associated shocks associated.
Other issues around the housing sector were also raised.
I work in the bank for roughly over 2 decades, and I paid my due, which is always be remitted to National Housing Authority, as a Federal Mortgage Bank, in short. Then when I left after such decades, I now asked for my outstanding balance, because ordinarily I was supposed to have a house over my head. So that policy could not work as far as I'm concerned. Now, can I assess my outstanding balance and say, no, I can't. I should wait till when I reach 60 years. It's a serious issue that I don't know how I'm going to address it.
You can't be deducting your money and then you don't see the house, you don't see your money. So we're going to look into it.
At the end of the public hearing on the regulation of advanced rent for residential apartments and office spaces, the committee made a commitment to compile a report of its findings for presentation to plenary for more legislative action. Let's now take a short break for our notebook segment. Don't go away.
Oversight is one of the major duties of the legislature as provided for in sections 81, 82 and 88 of the 1999 Constitution as amended and the Senate Standing Rules. These sections empower the Senate to control public funds entrusted to the ministries, departments and agencies as well as investigate them. Oversight is conducted by committees of the Senate over ministries, departments and agencies that come under their supervision. Committees perform their oversight duties through various visits, investigations and public hearings, among others.
The only way out of the pandemic is for the population to observe the recommended measures advised by the NCDC. The Senate Committees on Health and Primary Health Care and Communicable Diseases will continue to engage with the Federal Ministry of Health and the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19.
Welcome back. The Joint Senate Committee on Petroleum Resources and Gas was on duty on Tuesday, the 29th of March 2022. It was to interact with stakeholders over some of the challenges that confronted the Nigerian petroleum sector at that time, especially importation of adulterated petrol, long queues at filling stations, as well as increased crude oil theft.
That is weighing down on the limited revenue the government is generating, because there is an increase in the price of crude and we're still subsidizing. There has to be a way out.
The Group Managing Director of NNPC responded to the issues raised.
Today, there is close to 4 million barrels of global shortfall in supply of crude oil into the market. This means that prices will remain at this relatively high level, and perhaps, if the situation, the geopolitical issues are not resolved quickly, the prices could actually escalate further. But for us here, we have a different problem. It would have been a position of benefit for us as a country. And unfortunately, we are not in position to take advantage of these high prices because we are unable to produce crude oil in the country today.
On the adulterated petroleum products allegedly imported into Nigeria at that time, the GMD had this to say.
We have engaged the suppliers. We have also traced it to the root supplier, which is Litasco. As you all may know, Litasco is a company wholly owned by the by Russians. We are transferring all the liabilities to the supplier, where all the products that we have quarantined and some other incidental situations that has arisen. Our intervention helped because even products on trucks were quarantined and taken into storage.
Thereafter, comments were taken from some committee members.
JMD, every time I listen to you, with so much rapt attention because of your passion and your knowledge of your industry. But it's quite unfortunate that you found yourself in these shoes, and you are equally rising up to the occasion.
For the first time in my long service or public service, this is the first time that you have a chief executive who will lay the facts as they are. And I think that it's 50% of the problem solved, because when you go to say a doctor and they are able to diagnose what the issue is, then they know what to apply.
I will also want NNPC to also look at emphasis of the proliferation that is in the border control. Our neighbors knows the international oil price and know what the oils are about. And when NNPC has no control over what goes into our neighboring countries, the borders, it calls for attention.
The rest of the meeting was held behind closed doors.
Director Refining and Petrochemical, and also to
Also, the Committee on Trade and Investment and Diaspora and NGOs hosted stakeholders to a public hearing to deliberate on the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 Amendment Bill 2022, particularly as it affects registration of NGOs in Nigeria. The report of this, alongside others, are presented from our studio.
I'm here to represent the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Declaring the hearing open, Senate President, who was represented by the Senate Minority Whip, Senator Philip Aduda, said the amendment would encourage more private investment in Nigeria for the improvement of our GDP.
This is also in the continuation of our desire to contribute our quota to meeting the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians as it relates to Mr. President's change agenda.
Stakeholders then took over the floor to make presentations for or against the amendment.
The proposed bill as it stands interferes with the right of association, and the right of assembly of Nigerian citizens. And so if there is any law that is supposed to be made to limit this right by introducing an interim manager or a trustee, in that sense, it will hinder this right of Nigerian citizens.
Section 839 of KAMA should be set aside. Reasons: it negates Section 46, Section 66B, and Section 40 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Looking at Section 823, the definitive section of NGOs in Part F, is very inclusive. It has every areas of life. It deals with kingship, it deals with schools, it deals with leadership and everything.
For us at the Nigerian Network of NGOs, we would like to see the law responding to Article 10 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. For us, we do think that also Section 865 of the KAMA Act would also now need to be reviewed to fall in line with the recommendations of the guideline as it were.
Section 40, subsection 1, that is statement of compliance. We know ease of doing business is very, very important, and CAC is helping us because you can register your business within 24 hours. However, one thing that I observe is that you cannot file an annual return as an individual. You need a lawyer. So since you can register your company independently, why you cannot file an annual return? We think that the Registrar General, we think, and you are working very hard, but you need to improve and ameliorate the services of CAC.
The proposed deletion of Section 831 on related associations is recommended, as this section prejudices the right of citizens and founders of NGOs to peaceful association and assembly as guaranteed by the 1999 Constitution. The amendment of Section 838 sub 3, which deals with the stipulated penalty for the misappropriation of income of an association, is recommended as the subsection in question offends gender sensibilities.
After more submissions, the committee promised to compile a report for presentation to the Senate for more legislative action.
Our profile segment is next. The Senate leader is our Senator of the Week. Stay tuned.
Senator Yahaya Abdullahi was born on the 10th of December 1950 and represents Kebbi North Senatorial District of Kebbi State under the APC. Senator Yahaya Abdullahi attended Nkoji Primary School, Argungu in Kebbi State for his first school leaving certificate in 1964. He proceeded to the Nagarta College, Sokoto, where he obtained his West African School certificate in 1969. At the tertiary level, Senator Yahaya Abdullahi attended the School of Basic Studies, Zaria, after which he proceeded to Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, where he bagged a bachelor's degree in social sciences and a doctorate in rural sociology between 1976 and 1983. In 1985, he earned a certificate in agricultural research, an organization in the Netherlands dedicated to improving the livelihood of farmers and their communities. He was an academic at the Faculties of Agriculture at the ABU Zaria and University of Lagos, during which period he held various teaching and agricultural research positions like Honorary Research Fellow in Medical and Social Work, Institute of Child Health, University of Lagos from 1974 to 1975, Graduate Assistant, Institute of Agricultural Research, ABU Zaria from January to September 1976, Assistant Research Fellow, ABU Zaria, 1976 to 1978. Research Fellow 2, 1978 to 1981. Assistant Research Fellow 1, 1981 to 1987. Senior Research Fellow, October 1987 to September 1990. Associate Professor and Principal Research Fellow, October 1990. An excellent academic, Senator Yahaya Abdullahi was head of Department Agricultural Economics and Rural Development of ABU Zaria and has also supervised and co-supervised many master's and doctorate programs in agriculture. In addition to this, he is also an associate in sociology and has also undertaken rural development researches independently and jointly as a member of the multidisciplinary team both within and outside Nigeria. Senator Yahaya Abdullahi was Commissioner of Agriculture in the Old Sokoto State between 1990 and 1991, while at the national level he served in the National Agricultural and Land Development Authority, NALDA, and was also the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs. He joined politics, contested election to the Senate in the 2015 general elections and won to represent Kebbi North Senatorial District. Won again in the 2019 general elections and was announced as the Senate leader on the 3rd of June 2019. Senator Yahaya Abdullahi also holds the Federal Civil Service Award in the Directors category in 2006, a recipient of the National Honor of the Officer of the Order of Niger (OON) in 2008. While back home, he holds the traditional title of Matawallan Kabi since 2017. His legislative interests are agriculture, public service, education, and national economy.
With this, we come to the end of this episode of our program. Ensure you have your permanent voter's card so that we can all participate in the next elections. Until I come your way again, do stay safe and thanks for watching.